Hi guys, Samantha from Jessica Tutorials here, and today I'm going to show you how to create some cute watercolor beads. So what I've got here is a stack of Polymer clay, and all of the sheets will run through on the thinnest setting of my pasta machine. I've got white, black and then pearl white in that order, all again rolled out on the thinnest setting of my pasta machine. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to run this through. Actually, I'm not going to run it through. We will run it through later on again on the thinnest setting. But for right now, we want to be coating the pearl white part in various different paint colours. Now, I kind of wanted to do almost like a skinner blend effect with paints. So here are the colours that I've chosen. So I'll just show you the general colours. So kind of like turquoise and greens, just those colours. And the first one over here is a Dazzling Metallics Peacock Pearl. Now any paints will work for this, you don't have to use the exact ones that I'm using. This is Aquarium, and this one is Hummingbird, so that's the first group. Then again I've got another group here which is more kind of purples and blues. These are more warm blues than the other ones. This is again a Dazzling Metallics Ice Blue. This is Eclipse, and this one is Gazing Ball. So again, any paints will work for this. I'm using metallic paints, you can use opaque paints, really doesn't matter, feel free to play around. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to start with the Hummingbird, and I'm just going to take that and I'm going to kind of dab it around, like so, not too much. Then I'm going to bring over the Peacock Pearl, and make sure you shake each of these before you use them, just because it will disperse the metallic around. And I'll just dab that around. Again, don't need a ton. And don't worry if you mark the clay when you do that, that's fine. Then I'm going to use the Aquarium. I'm going to dab that around. Then I'm going to move on to, let's see, I'm going to use the Ice Blue next. This one I'm going to start on this side, and I'm going to go a little bit into here. That should be enough. Then I'm going to use the Gazing Ball. And I'm going to go again a little bit here, mostly on the end though. There we go. And lastly, the Eclipse. Again, shake that. There we go, and that should do. Now you can use a paintbrush for this next step, but I like to just use my fingers because I like the effect that it gives it. And I will just go over the surface and just tap, like so. And of course this is going to make a mess of your fingers, so if you don't want to do that, you can always use gloves. Then I'll just go back in the opposite direction and try to get any areas where the white is still showing through. I'll just grab a little bit more of this and just get it to mix in a bit more. Okay, and I'm pretty happy with that. Just going to tap down this end. Right, then you're going to let that dry completely. Okay. And here is how it looks now that it is dried. So I'm just going to pick that up. There we go. And I'm going to run that through the pasta machine on the same setting that we ran through each of these, so on my thinnest setting. Okay, and here it is. So you can see that the paint has crackled a bit, which is to be expected and is something that I actually did want a little bit. So you can see there how that looks. So I'm going to put that to the side, and then I'm going to bring over a piece of clay that was rolled out on my thickest setting, and I'm going to take a cutter. It doesn't matter what kind of cutter, just a cutter. And what you'll do is you'll cut out a bunch using that cutter, and then just take those pieces of clay, ball them up, and roll them into a ball. And then because you used the same cutter, all of them will be the same size. So that's how you create same size beads essentially. So any cutter, it doesn't have to be circular, it can be round, it can be, well obviously round is circular, sorry. It can be square, it can be rectangular, any shape will work. So there we go, so you'll just roll them. They don't have to be perfectly round at this point because we're going to be applying the watercolor to them. You just want to make a bunch of beads. Then when you're done with that, you'll bring this over and I'm going to rip this into 3. So this one's going to be basically just blue-green. This one is going to be a mix of the blue-green and the purple and warm blues. And this is going to be the warm blues and purples. So you can see it, there are definitely 3 different types. And that's what I'm going to be making my beads from. So let's start with this one. I'll put these to the side because we don't need them here right now. And all I want you to do is just take that and start ripping off pieces. Now bear in mind that you can just make a veneer. You don't have to make beads. You can make a veneer and cut out pieces for pendants or earrings or even bowls. So if you don't feel like making beads with this technique, don't feel restricted to doing that. Okay, and then once we've torn out a few, that should be enough for now. I'll grab one of the beads. And I'll just take this, wrap it round, grab another piece, overlap it, wrap it round, and just repeat the process until I have covered up all the black. Now just because of this process we are going to end up with the beads being slightly different in size, which is something that I am alright with. If you're not alright with that, then well, I'm not sure this technique's for you. Or you can be just very careful with how much clay you wrap around each piece. But yeah, basically you'll do it like that. Then you'll take that and you'll just roll that. And this time we want to be trying to get this into a round, so I'm being more careful how I roll it. And I'll just continue doing that until I get a nice smooth piece like this. And then I'll continue making beads just like that. Okay, and so once I've rolled out all of them, I will assemble them onto my bead rack. And I'm going to show you how to just pierce them at the moment. So I'm going to put this to the side. There we go, so that's out of the way. And I'm going to bring over my last one. And I'm going to bring over the same size wire as I have on my rack over there. And I'm just going to gently pierce this, and I'm using quite a thin wire. The thinner you can have it while it still remains stable, the better. So I pierce through one way and then I go back the opposite way and pierce through again. Then I will take that and I'll very gently give it a roll. I'm not pressing that hard. Okay. And then I'll pop it back onto that wire very gently, spinning it so that it stays in shape. Okay, and then I'll pop that onto the bead rack. Then I will bake that for a full hour at Primo's recommended temperature, and then we can varnish them. Okay, and here they are out of the oven. So I'm going to keep them on these wires because I'm going to dip them in varathane to basically seal them and to give them a nice shiny finish. So I'm just going to pop this to the side and I'm going to bring over the varathane pot. Now any varnish will work for this, but basically I'm just going to dip them in till they're completely submerged. Then lift them out and let that drain until there's no more varnish draining. And then I'm going to put them back on the wire rack that I baked them on. And then I'll repeat with the other one. Okay, and then once they're dry, you'll take them off of the wire. And now you can use them to make anything you want. So you can string these to make a bracelet, you can pop them with some earrings, you could even make a necklace with them. It's completely up to you how you will use these beads. And obviously you can make as many or as little as you want. You can mix them with other polymer clay beads. There's lots of different things that you could do with them. So if you enjoyed this tutorial, please do let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.